Good morning, everyone, or evening, wherever you might be coming in from. My name is Matt Cornwell. I'm the Associate Director of Student Services for the Saunders College of Business at RIT. So today we have I believe this is our last of the grad chat series for this fall anyway. And our last program is the Master of Science in Global Supply Chain Management. So we will go into some details on that program. We actually expect one of our current students to join us as well. He's running a little bit late, but we're excited to have him as well, who's currently in the program, to provide some insights there. But just a couple logistics. If you do have questions, feel free to use the chat feature at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Please don't hesitate to ask any questions that you have. That's why we're here. And certainly want to address any questions that you all may want addressed. But the big purpose of this session is to do a bit of a deeper dive into the Global Supply Chain Management program. Above and beyond some of the info sessions we've held, I think this is a good opportunity just to get a better sense of what the curriculum looks like, career outcomes, and those types of things. So without further ado, I will turn it over to the Program Director for Global Supply Chain Management, Dr. Joy Olabisi.
Thank you, Matt. And it's, again, good morning, good evening to those of you who are joining us. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and then we can get started. So as Matt said, can everyone see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. As Matt said, this is just a brief overview about the Global Supply Chain Management Master of Science program. I'm the program director of this program, as well as the undergraduate supply chain program. So yeah, I'm happy to answer questions that you have. And just to provide a bit of an overview of the program, and you see a link there. I'm sure if you're here, you've probably already been on that link to check out the program. But supply chains are becoming really more complex globally. And this program, which has been in place now for about 5 years, is helping to prepare students to understand this complexity, to really analyze processes, to really think about how the global component can help to efficiently transfer goods and services. It's a growing field, and because it is growing, there's lots of opportunities professionally, a lot of opportunities to really dive more deeply into understanding multiple nuances, to understand a lot of the challenges and some of the strategies also that one can use to address the challenges that organizations are facing, and will enable students to add immediate value to organizations. So just sort of taking a look at what we focus on, there's a very strong focus on analytics within the program. I'll talk more about that when I begin to discuss the courses. There's a strong focus on hands-on experience, obviously leveraging technology, given that this program is here at RIT. And then it's also very interdisciplinary. So this program pulls concepts from, as I mentioned earlier, analytics, but also industrial engineering, global business, management, marketing. So again, because we're looking at the entire supply chain, all these different functions that contribute to efficiently moving products is what's taken into consideration here. That being said, as intense as it is, as interdisciplinary as it is, it still is a one-year program. So you take 10 courses, and you take over the fall, spring, and summer semesters, and finish in a year. It is a STEM designated program, so if international students, it's very appealing to international students because they can qualify for an extended OPT up to 3 years. Okay. So let's talk a bit more about the curriculum of this program. As I said earlier on, there are 10 courses, 30 credit hours. So 2 of those courses are decision sciences courses or operations management, basically sort of the fundamental supply chain courses. Again, given that this is a global supply chain program, 2 courses tend to be more global oriented, more focused on the international business context or domain. And then there's sort of 1 management course. Again, we are in the field of management, and so understanding how to relate with other individuals, negotiate with other individuals is important. And then there are 4 supply chain management electives, and I'll discuss those electives shortly as well, that one can take depending on which specific program or which specific area they want to dive more deeply into. And then there's a graduate project that students engage in as well, where they have a chance to work with organizations within the area to apply some of what they've learned in the classroom to actually solve problems that the organization is facing. So again, very flexible program, especially when you see the list of courses that are offered, that one can tailor to interests that they have, maybe prior experience that they've obtained. So very flexible, but also still giving you a strong core supply chain foundation. So let's look at the course sequence. In the first year, students will take, as I said, 2 main courses in supply chain, in decision sciences, and then 2 courses in global business, the global business context. And so our business and supply chain management course provides a lot of the supply chain fundamentals, topics like strategy and forecasting, warehousing, logistics, quality management, project management. Majority of the students that enroll in this program don't have supply chain management backgrounds. They don't necessarily have a degree in supply chain. So the undergraduate degrees come from engineering or maybe other business functions like marketing, information systems. And so this supply chain fundamentals course provides a nice enhancement to really understanding what supply chain is. Then supply chain analysis provides more analytical thinking in the supply chain context. So supply chain modeling, improving efficiency of distributing goods and services. And then global business analytics is another analytics-based course, but it's more, again, from a global context. And so students in this course have a chance to explore global business opportunities, but also to understand some of the strategies involved in exploring these opportunities and doing so analytically. So the class involves actually collecting and analyzing business data within global companies. The export, importing, and global sourcing course understands that, again, one is operating in a global context. And so the market forces, some of the government regulations, a bit of risk assessment that's involved when understanding these sort of global nuances of moving goods and services between nations are really explored in this class. So again, you're getting sort of the supply chain foundation, you're getting analytics foundation, you're also getting some of the risk, the global risk, import, export, sourcing background as well. And then negotiations is also a class that's required. I actually teach that course. Within this course, you get to really understand the relational piece of interacting within the supply chain. So you're talking with, you're negotiating with managers, you're developing skills that help you to navigate some of those challenges of problem solving when you're interacting with other individuals. So those are the 5 required classes. And then, as I mentioned earlier on, you also will take a graduate project, which allows hands-on practical experience to apply some of the content that you've learned in your classes. So most students end up doing the graduate project. There is a field exam prep option, which one can take in addition to another elective. But it just usually works out that most students end up going into the graduate project, going the graduate project route. However, I'm certainly open to discussing your options there. And then from an electives perspective, you will take 4 additional courses, right? And again, you can see the list of courses and sort of the buckets and the options in which you can explore. So you see the first list there, you choose 2 of those lists of courses. And there are courses like you get Lean Six Sigma, which is offered within the Industrial Engineering department, more project management beyond the fundamentals course, more analytics from a marketing perspective, from an MIS perspective. So you take a couple courses from those bucket of courses, or you take 1 additional course within more sort of the environmental, innovation, managerial bucket of courses as well. So again, depending on what your interests are, you can be flexible in selecting these electives to enhance your overall supply chain portfolio. So before I move on, are there any questions so far on the courses and sort of how it's structured. I don't see any questions in the chat, so we'll move on. All right, so as we've talked about coursework, and I'm gonna, yes, go ahead.
The courses that you showed us be taken as electives while studying for an MBA.
While studying for an MBA, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great question. We're actually in the process of exploring an MS MBA combination. So sort of like two MBAs, 2 master's degrees in 2 years. That should be able to go live sometime next year, hopefully if things move forward. But that being said, you would have, I think, 5 or 6 courses that would overlap between both programs. And knowing that you're doing that ahead of time would allow you to overlap some of those electives. So absolutely. So you work with your program director, you work with your student advisor to help align those courses based on when they're offered, what your interests are, and to ensure that you're able to complete both the MS and the MBA in 2 years.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Okay, great. Any other questions? Good question. Yeah, it's a program that it's an opportunity that we're really excited about, because we do feel that while the MS provides more in-depth knowledge into supply chain, the MBA, as you probably know, as I'm sure you know, is more general. So you have sort of the general business breadth while having the sort of supply chain depth. And you'll be able to have them both in 2 years, which is comparable to the time that it would take to get an MBA by itself here at RITO and many other programs. So it really is a win-win option. Okay, so outside of the coursework, students can have the opportunity, not every single student, but students have the opportunity to take on a graduate student worker position. And these are the paid positions where students would work with our faculty on research projects that they have going on, excuse me, just to get some more understanding and some more theoretical experience about the field supply chain. And so I wanted to highlight a couple of our supply chain faculty and some of the projects that they're doing right now. Dr. Tong teaches our Global Business Analytics course, and which is a required course, as I talked about earlier on. And then you can see that, you know, he's highlighted some of the projects that he's working on that could be of interest to students. So he focuses on applying analytics to global events and enterprises, looks at how global stakeholders affect multinational companies' operations, and some of the strategies that are available. So a couple of projects that are highlighted here looks at how American stakeholders, so that's anyone that touches the business, with different political ideologies can perceive Chinese investments in their states. And he's found that by looking at structuring conventionally unstructured data, he's found both a strong positive and negative sentiments towards these investments. And then another project looks at the intrinsic power negotiation between global tech companies, growing global tech companies, and global stakeholders across multiple countries. So this is some of the projects that he's working on that students could have the opportunity to engage in as well. Another one of our faculty, Dr. Guntuka, teaches the Supply Chain Fundamentals graduate class and the Supply Chain Analytics graduate class as well. And he's looking specifically at supply chain resilience. And again, when you think about resilience, what we've experienced the past couple of years with COVID comes into play, right? So when thinking about how can organizations be more capable of handling disruptions, being able to adapt, being able to recover in the midst of all of these challenges. And so if that's of interest to you, then this is a faculty that you could potentially explore doing research with and supporting some of his research projects that he has going on. So he's looking at, you know, sustainability and climate change. Certainly those are disruptive types of factors. Looking at the supply chain networks, but also looking at some of the competitive landscape and how that's influencing what types of strategies an organization can put in place. So one of the things that this program is especially proud of is how successful our alumni have been. I've highlighted a couple of alums, of recent alums, and what they've gone on to do. You see students listed here. Someone is now working and I'm sure is now working at Walmart as a senior manager. Brendan, who I've actually spoken with a couple of times recently, is now at LSI Solutions as a senior buyer, which is a local supply chain healthcare organization. And Brendan actually also sits on the executive board of the Association of Supply Chain Management chapter of Rochester. So even when after graduation, you see that you can easily get involved, not just within your company, but also within the supply chain professional landscape within Rochester, wherever you may end up. Neha was actually my graduate student worker a couple of years ago, and she has currently working with McKinsey & Company as a solutions delivery analyst. Enzo is working as a supply chain analyst with ITT Gold's Pumps. And then Jaden, who recently graduated, is working as an implementation project manager. So our program is very, very successful. Actually, the problem is that we don't have enough students to meet the demand that companies have for our students. I will also highlight, though, that the most successful students have been individuals who have really been engaged and who have immersed themselves. You know, it's a one-year program, so it moves very quickly. So these students come in, they give some thought as to what they really want out of the program, how the program can enhance their background, the experiences that they already have. We often have companies that are on campus that are within the College of Business wanting to meet and engage with students. Students take advantage of the 2 large career fairs that we have on campus, one in the fall and one in the spring, to really meet and interact with companies. And you see the result, right? Our students place very well, full-time, but also part-time. It is an analytically strong graduate program, as I've highlighted earlier on. So it's not an easy in and easy out. It's fast-paced, but students are very successful and they sort of gain their rewards on that. I don't know, we are scheduled, as Matt mentioned, to have one of our current students with us, and Lorenzo is a current student. I remember having a chat with him at the beginning of the semester, and he was saying, oh my goodness, it's a year. How am I going to get it? When am I going to find time to get a job? I'm taking 4 classes right now. When is the first career fair? Well, you know, and he'll speak more to his experience. But when we spoke before the Thanksgiving break, which is about 3 weeks ago, he already had 2 to 3 job offers based on him attending career fair meetings and the career fair itself in September. And that was, about halfway through the first semester. So again, that's just speaking to the employability of students within this program and the value of this program. So again, other opportunities to engage within the program. I mentioned the Association of Supply Chain Management organization, professional organization. There is a student chapter within RIT. And that allows students, to access a lot of educational programs that the association offers, numerous networking opportunities. They offer some supply chain certifications, not free, but again, through liaising with individuals there. I believe in the past, or this past spring, they were willing to help offset some of the costs of these certification programs. From time to time, they'll have scholarships and awards. And so it's a great organization for students to get involved with, to be able to increase networking opportunities. And the picture there is of a recent visit that a couple of the faculty and myself and students, both graduate and undergraduate students, had to a recent Institute of Supply Chain Management chapter meeting. So ISM, it's different from ASM. It's another professional organization within Rochester that focuses on supply chain. And so they're also looking to get more involved with students in different capacities. Their student case competition. So right now, sustainability, one of our students was a finalist, was a semi-finalist in the sustainability supply chain competition. He actually partnered with a couple of students from China, and they made it to the semifinal round. And so again, you're not locked into only working with students here. There are opportunities that come about all the time that you'll receive emails from program director, from myself, about different things that you can do. And then even last spring, the University of Buffalo, which is about an hour away from here, their operations management and supply chain program hosted a student case competition. And so again, you're not lacking things to do in the area. It's very busy, it's a rigorous program, but there are also many other tangential opportunities that you can engage in to enhance your experience within the program. So any questions so far before I move on? I see that someone else just joined.
Is there a link to learn more about ASCM Club and student case competitions?
Yeah, Matt, I don't know if you can quickly put that
Yeah.
in the chat. Yeah, so
Yeah,
Matt will
I'll
put
do
that in
that,
the chat for you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Hello, I apologize. I'm kind of stuck in traffic right now, so excuse me for having my camera off. But
Oh, no, it's okay. I actually
point.
just spoke about you, Lorenzo. So maybe, and we just finished talking about the alumni success of the program and you're a current student. So I don't know, I don't want to put you on the spot right now, but
No, I'm all about that. So absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So maybe you can speak about, I was telling them about how you had a couple opportunities, a couple job offers, just a couple months into the program. So maybe you can just speak a little bit about your experience in the program so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'll give a little bit of background on myself. So my name is Lorenzo Filardo. I'm currently enrolled in the MS of Science Global Supply Chain degree at Saunders. I got my undergrad, so I went to a 2-year school. Then I went to Cuca College. They were a partner school with RIT, and that's how I kind of ended up here. As far as why I focused on global supply chain management, I held operations roles and other service roles within the automotive industry now for about 4 years. And a lot of the things that I noticed, especially during peak COVID, was the delay in locating parts, locating materials, things of that nature. And it kind of got me thinking, like, how can I solve these problems and find solutions? So I looked into it more and I found out that global supply chain kind of addresses a lot of these issues. So if you really do enjoy problem solving, I think that this would be the great degree path for you. As far as my experience with RIT, like Joy was saying, I've been at the school for 3 months and I already have 2 job offers at very fair compensation packages that I'm really excited for. One thing too that I want to mention is a lot of the programs that I've been looking at and I've had success like communicating with other companies are actually management development programs. So those are more on the operational side of things, and it's really great if you don't have any prior experience in the industry because it basically fast tracks you through multiple levels of the company. So basically the programs I'm looking at, they essentially are 2 years in duration. Every 6 months I'm going to be rotating in a different position, and I get to learn all the technical aspects and other aspects of the company from that sense. So it's something that I enjoy doing. It's a very like strong leadership operations, and also there's some supply chain business analytics and logistics tied into it as well too. That really, makes a difference in your impact too. So yeah, I mean that's a little bit about me. I do have to say though that Saunders has provided me with every single tool that is extremely helpful for my educational career and developing myself in a professional manner.
Awesome, thank you. How hard? Let me ask a couple of follow-up questions. You mentioned that you do have 2 offers, so congratulations again. Can you talk about just the process of engaging with companies? Did you just go out to the career fair? Were there companies that were at Saunders? Did you sort of reach out through some of the online application portals? Can you talk about that process a little bit?
Sure. So the best luck that I had with communicating with other companies out there was going to the career fair. That really just makes such a huge difference. And especially being at Saunders, going to the networking event that's hosted the night prior, getting to know some employers on more of a, I guess, laid back kind of environment. And then going and meeting with them at the career fair, it really makes a difference. You're able to establish that kind of recognition in a sense. And just to give you guys kind of a background on the two companies. So the first one is called Precision Cast Parts Corporation. They are a company that actually develops airfoils and other aviation components that they sell to Boeing, Airbus, Rolls-Royce, all these bigger companies. And they're nationwide. They have about 21 different facilities in the US and 13 outside of the US. Um, and then another company too is called Wabtec. They are the number one locomotive manufacturer in the United States. So they develop trains, rail cars, high-speed railways, all the interesting ins and outs of locomotive manufacturing. So I would honestly say that the career fair though was definitely a good starting point. And also communicating with Julian as well too. He's the career advisor. He works in the Bosch and Lomb Center at RIT. I've met with him multiple times, and I met with him, the second week I was I was enrolled with classes, and getting to know him from that starting point just really helped, set myself up because he gave me a lot of good advice on, meeting with companies, trying to assess where I'm going to be, like what would make the most sense for me. At RIT, I mean, the professors truly do care about our success as students. Like they want to make sure we succeed, or else, they're not fulfilling their job. So, and that's one thing that I can say, and I'm excited to, take a class with Joy next semester and continue that experience with the faculty at Saunders.
Great. I'm glad you mentioned Julian because I do have a slide about him. I think students feel like oftentimes it is rigorous. You're jumping into a 4-course semester. And oftentimes, understandably, a lot of effort goes towards trying to maintain and manage your coursework. And here you mentioned that you met with Julian that second week, right? So did you find it challenging to balance your coursework with sort of the job search aspect of things?
I mean, as far as myself, I would say no. It honestly depends on who you are and what part-time job you're working, or if you have, or what careers you're looking for too. The earlier you start, the easier it's going to be. That's my best recommendation. So if you go in there, first, second week, meet with an advisor, whether it's your faculty or academic advisor, just to get an idea of, what industry you want to look at, what positions are available. Networking is huge. Networking is the most powerful, avenue to find new careers. And I would say the networking opportunities at Saunders are kind of endless. Just you can seriously find anything you want to in whatever, area you can. There's a lot of really great involvement too with different parts of the campus where you can actually go and try and find people from, whether it be in the engineering school or other parts of RIT, and you can kind of connect with them, make new friends, and also find new opportunities that you may not even realize exist.
Great. And you mentioned other opportunities. I mean, even within the Innovation Entrepreneurship Center, Simone Center for Entrepreneurship, that's directed by one of the faculty in management, Richard DiMartino. And within that center, oftentimes there's lots of competitions where you can partner with students across campus. And so if anything, you're inundated with information. And so the challenge is actually sort of sifting through and seeing what is relevant to you. But I can't overemphasize what Lorenzo just said, which is getting the head start, starting on time. I recall last spring when a number of our students were emailing me sometime, March, April, like, I don't have any job, I need something, and I think it's understandable to sort of feel like you want to wait until you have your legs under you before you start looking. But again, it is a 1-year program. So just sort of keeping that in mind. And, I'm a faculty. If extending my class says, gosh, I can't make class today, I'm going to go meet with a company I'm going to the career fair and they've asked me for a follow-up meeting. That's what we want, right? So I say, awesome, tell me about it afterwards. And, most times students do come back and tell me about it afterwards, which is what we want to hear, because there's a trust element there going on, right? So this is who I met with, and this is sort of the outcome, and then you keep people engaged. To Lorenzo's point about talking with Julian earlier on, when you sort of establish those connections early on with people who can potentially help you and look out for you, then when they see future opportunities, oh yeah, I met with Lorenzo last week or 2 weeks ago. Let me send him an email and say, hey, I know we spoke 2 weeks ago. This is something that came across my desk that I thought you might be interested in. So I think that also reinforces the importance of getting a head start and making those connections. Okay, so let me talk a bit more about the program. Well, before I do, let me stop. Are there any other questions for Lorenzo from Anthony or Sajali about his experience so far? I know whenever I do these orientations, people usually want to hear more from the students that are sort of walking the path than those who are, I guess, paid to say the good things. So, so thanks, Lorenzo. If anything else comes up, then please feel free to reach out. So,
I do want to mention one thing too before you move
sure.
on. I wanted to talk about a little bit too about the classes as well. I think that they're very relevant to the global supply chain degree because it not only are you taking like obviously a global supply chain class, but you're also learning more about leading teams. You're learning about business analytics. You're learning about, negotiations, Lean Six Sigma, all these really important things that, maybe aren't offered at other institutions that RIT has. And it's really made a difference as far as developing myself professionally and personally. And I can't really stress that enough.
Awesome. How did you feel like you could speak to that when engaging with employers? Were they asking the kind of courses that you took? Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of when employer, especially too during the interviews that I went in, because I had a few online ones and then I had some in-person ones. I would say during both, they asked me a lot about the courses that I was taking. It was honestly based on like the courses, my educational experience, and then a lot of the questions were about like, what would I do in this situation? Say, especially if you're talking global supply chain and operations, like how would you react if one of your line workers did this, or how would you react if maybe upper management made a change that you weren't favorable to, but you had to accept it anyways? It helps kind of, especially with the courses too, it kind of helps you prepare on how to respond to those questions. And it just really makes a difference too, because you just sound a lot more educated when you're talking to employers.
Yeah. Well, good. I mean, a lot of effort goes into creating courses that really provide the skills, again, because it's very condensed, the skills that we feel would make students employable. And we also leverage expertise and feedback from our advisory board, which I'll speak to in a little bit as well. But let me talk a bit more about sort of specifics to the program, especially on an international landscape. The QS world rankings are very, very important. They matter. And students globally, domestically as well, certainly pay attention to that. And so we're happy to say that right now we're ranked 51. We were previously ranked even higher in the 30s, but those rankings tend to oscillate very easily. And so one small change can cause one to fall a couple of numbers down. But right now we're 51. We're expecting that to go back up based on just the success of our recent alums. I also wanted to highlight that even though we're ranked 51, a couple of specific subcategories within the rankings where we performed pretty well was alumni outcomes and value for money. And you may think, well, value for money, 50 is not that great, but we're competing with many other programs that are generally not as costly. And so students know that coming here, we do provide good opportunities for students to get scholarships and other types of fundings to help offset the cost of the program. But it is a private school, and students know that coming here, and for them to be able to say like, yeah, it's a private school, it's an expensive school. That being said, I still got a value for the money that I spent does say a lot as compared to maybe some more economical options. And so again, it's a good value and you're going to come out doing very well. I think those are things that we're very proud of compared to other programs. Right now, the graduation employment rate is 100%. And even that's given the fact that a co-op or internship is not required. It's a one-year program. There's really no room to require that additional piece. We do strongly encourage it. It's just a part of the ethos within RIT, because RIT is a co-op institution for undergraduate students. And so that brings companies to campus, that brings companies to the departments. There are lots of sessions. Everyone is talking about it. So it's almost like, it's not required, but because everyone talks about it, you almost feel like you gotta do something with it, right? You gotta get involved somehow and get a position. And again, I think that's part of where people feel like the value for the money is worthwhile, because some of these internship experiences that one would get can help offset some of the expenses of the program. Let me see what else I'm going to highlight. So, and yeah, even our international students have been successful with getting short-term, internship opportunities. So yeah, you see a couple of job titles there. I highlighted some that our recent alums have obtained, but these are general top job titles within the field. Yeah.
I have a question for Lorenzo. What are the attributes that makes you stand out to employers at the career fair? Not just at the career fair, but for other events similar to career fair?
Sure, I can answer that. I would say I'll start with the career fair because I feel like that's kind of a good first interaction point with people from the company. But one thing that I did is I made sure that I brought 20 copies of my resume and I handed out every single one of them to at least one employer. The reason why I did that is because it helped, get my name out there, get my, my resume out there. I made sure it was concise, clean. Again, Julian's another really great resource. He'll sit down with you, take a look at your resume. He has a really awesome template that I used. It's kind of like a graduate level resume template that really helped, highlight some of the important things that I wanted to highlight on there. Another thing too, obviously how you dress, make sure you're wearing business professional attire. So suit jacket, tie, shirt, pants, dress shoes. Another thing too is also just working on your elevator pitch. How can you explain yourself in 30 seconds, touching on the most important points that makes yourself interested in the employer? I think one thing too to consider is also the industry which you're interested in. Try and do research on the companies that you're interested in, find out what they produce, where they're located, some really cool facts that maybe the people there might not even know. I actually did that with Ruger. They were there, and I knew some interesting facts. I kind of surprised them that I even knew it. But I mean, there's 250 companies there. It's definitely gets to be kind of a madhouse, and making sure that you're there for the whole time really helps too. I got there at 10 a.m. and I left at 4. It is definitely a long time commitment, but the opportunities are bound. However, when I went for more of my online and my in-person interviews, a couple of things that I did is I kind of touched on how I would respond to a lot of these situations. So I thought about what are some questions that I would be asked as an operations manager, or what are some problems that I would have to solve as an operations manager. And definitely in my classes too, I learned a lot about, what those situations actually look like and how to go through the problem solving process, feedback methods, and other ways to do that too. I feel like at least for me, more the analytics side wasn't really talked about. It was more the operational side. But that's the nice thing about supply chain is that you can actually go into multiple different areas. You can do ops, you can do logistics, buying, procurement. There's so many different areas that not a lot of people realize that you can seriously do anything you want with that degree.
That's a great answer. The the highlights you mentioned is something I'll take note of.
Excellent.
Yeah.
If there's anything else too that I can clarify on, just let me know.
And I would say that, Lorenzo is probably unique in spending the entire 6 hours there. At the career fair, that is. Do what works for you. But if you're committed and saying, okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take my resumes and I'm gonna try and connect with individuals and connect with companies, that works. Some people may not be as extroverted, or sometimes just sort of walking around can be draining. So think about what works for you. Many companies do come to RIT the day before the career fair to try and engage with a subset of students on a more personal level, because the career fair is crazy. There are thousands of people in there. And so Lorenzo, I commend you for being there for 6 hours. I feel like 2 hours was my max.
Yeah.
I'm good. I need to get out of here.
No, there were definitely some points where like I stopped and like took a break, had
Yeah.
something to eat. I wasn't just talking to people for 6 hours.
Yeah. I know, but still, I feel like, absolutely, definitely. But like the fact that you were still kind of, you had enough juice to keep going even after taking a break,
Sure, yeah.
So I would say many of the companies that do come for these sort of more intimate, informal sessions the day before, or even the evening of the career fair, take advantage of those. Many of these people at the career fair are seeing thousands of students. And so unless you are extremely memorable for one reason or the other, maybe knowing a fact about them that they don't know, it's just kind of like a blur. They're able to remember more of these connections at the night before or the night of. And then if you go to the career fair the next day and say, oh yeah, I met you the night before during the info session, so just putting yourself out there, I would definitely say.
I just wanted to add on to that too. Applying to the positions beforehand definitely helps as well too. So that way you're already in the system, and if people like, that was one question, like the first question that the people who were tabling would ask, they'd be like, did you already apply for a position with us? And for the companies that I applied to prior, I told them yes. And there were some companies that I haven't applied for, but I just wanted to get more information, see if it was the right opportunity for me. But yeah, you definitely don't have to be there for 6 hours. Like Joy was saying, do what's best for you. For me, I'm just that kind of like go person who can handle that. But if and any amount of time works, and I think bringing as many copies of your resume just helps open as many doors as you want. I can't stress that enough either, having multiple copies of your resume. And also one thing too that was just kind of like a little helpful thing was bringing a nice binder, like a leather wrap binder with a notebook in it, so I could take notes. So say if L3 Harris was one company that I spoke with there, and they set me up with an interview for the next day for one of their positions, and I had to take notes on where the interview was going to be, and it was just helpful to have that with me. And also holding on to business cards, and whatever swag I had too, like pens or different things. So
yeah, that's great advice. And it's nice to hear that still happens, years later. I remember, I think there was a window of time where employers would tell us that they don't want to hold a bunch of resumes. And so for a while, and students were telling me that they don't even take resumes anymore, because employers are like, well, just go put your resume on our website or sort of our application link or what have you, because they didn't want to go back with 300 resumes. And so hearing you say that you're taking yours there and you're still giving it out, and people are taking it, so maybe the tables are turning again to where they're starting to accept paper copies of resumes again. So that's good to hear.
I'm sorry, I got one more thing to add.
No, please, that's what this is for. Yeah.
So LinkedIn, developing your LinkedIn profile definitely helps as well too. Just because a lot of the times too, like even after the event, I would get notifications from people on LinkedIn saying that they're requesting to follow me, and it's people that I talked to at the career fair. So I'm like, oh wow, this is cool. So I was able to connect with them more as well too, on that sense. So That and also Career Connect too. You can also upload a profile, which is very similar to LinkedIn. You can put all your work information on there. And in that sense, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Joy, that's just for RIT students to use. And that's kind of the one thing too that sets Saunders above a lot of these other programs, is that they have their own, for lack of better words, dedicated LinkedIn to help connect with other companies. So you can use like a chat service. There's jobs that are constantly posted on there that you can apply for, and you can filter it down to major, what school they're hiring for. And it in my opinion, it's a little bit more in depth than LinkedIn, just because you can narrow it down a little bit better. Plus, it's also like vetted job offers, so you're not applying to something that may potentially be a scam or isn't real, or maybe sounds too good to be true. Which is kind of nice, just because with today's day and age and technology, there's so many opportunities out there, and it's tough to kind of filter through what's actually going to work best for you.
Yeah. I mean, Lorenzo has provided some great points. Most people, I think, have a LinkedIn profile now. It's a requirement as part of our undergraduate business program to sort of create a resume, sort of get these building blocks set up. If you don't already have that, that's something that you can do before you even start the program. So you're not spending the first couple of days of a hectic 4-course schedule trying to get that piece set up. But again, I think most people have one in some form. Great points, great advice. So I mentioned earlier on that we do have an advisory board. These are individuals, most of them within the Rochester area, some graduates of the program. See Bradley Weber there was a graduate of the program. But these are usually either alums, but also senior executives, mid-level managers who have an interest in supply chain. And we seek their advice on what's important out there. What do employers want? What skills should our students have? And then we incorporate their feedback into refining the program. Some of these individuals are available for one-on-one mentoring. I remember, I think Lorenzo, when we had touch base earlier on, I connected you with Julian. I don't know if you had a chance to talk with him, but Julian was a director at L3Harris, which is one of the larger employers of supply chain students in the area. So some of these faculty, some of these board members, visit classrooms to give sort of guest lectures. So anyway, they're useful to sort of touch base and lean in and connect with students and get insights about the program. And so we value their advice. So just a couple other slides. We are getting ready to, I think in January, open a new extension to the Saunders College of Business, the new expansion. So this has been going on now for the past year and a half. I think they broke ground May of last year. I've had a chance to take a tour of the extension. So this is literally adjacent to, connected to, you can walk through the current building to the new building, where the current building is almost doubling in size. So you can see some renderings of what the newer part of the building will look like. When you join the program, if you apply and join us, obviously in the fall, everything will be up and running because it's scheduled to open up this spring semester in a couple of months. So Lorenzo, you get a chance to see it as well. So just awesome opportunities for more team space, event spaces, opportunities to engage with industry experts. So it's fantastic. We're really looking forward to the expansion and to enjoying the new building and the end of all the construction noise. So again, because RIT is so focused on career development, as Lorenzo highlighted, there's lots of opportunity to seek advice from individuals. And the person that Lorenzo alluded to, Julian, is the assistant director of career services here at RIT. And as you heard, he's very accessible with polishing your resume, cover letter, just has been at RIT for a while, works a lot with Saunders students, and so really knows both domains, knows your experience as a student, but also knows what employers are looking for and how to best sort of sell yourself. And so please use this resource. He talks about how he's not used enough. But you can see the success story with Lorenzo. If you use Julian, then that's what he's there for. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
Oh,
off
no, it's
there.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah, like the last time I met with him was actually about a week ago, just to talk to him about the job offers I had and how to make a decision on them. And he helped outline my path. But one thing he said right before I left, he was like, please tell people to come see me. I am sitting here bored in my office and I want to help people. And like, it's very rare to hear people say that. And I think it's really awesome. And it shows his
Yeah,
dedication to us as students to help us be successful. Like
yeah,
he is there as a resource. He's not going to come find you. You have to go find him.
yeah, yeah.
But he definitely will put you on the right track and help you, kind of evaluate like what I kind of did to help be effective with my conversation with him. As I went in there, I basically gave him an explanation of who I am, what I'm interested in, what I'm studying, and basically some of the potential paths that I was interested in going down as a career choice. And he helped kind of rationalize, like he looked at it from like a real perspective, which is kind of nice. So
Mhm.
he outlined like, hey, here's some real parameters. Like, say if you were to study abroad, what are the tax implications? What programs are going to be available? How much is it going to cost for a plane ticket? Like all these different things that maybe, you think it's a good idea, but considering all these factors, is it really worth the cost to go out and do that? So
Mhm.
he helped me significantly, and I seriously can't speak to him enough about how reliable he was as an outlet for career development.
Oh, that's fantastic. And this is being recorded, so hopefully other students hear this to be able to use that resource
Yeah,
as well.
hopefully he does.
Yeah. Um, and then, so just wanted to highlight next steps. If you're interested, there's a link there to apply. We are accepting full-time students right now, so all you essentially need is your official transcript, resume, personal statement. If you're an international student, GRE or GMAT. And you see Matt's picture there. Peggy's also another great resource within the college. She's the Senior Associate Director of Graduate Programs, and you'll likely be interfacing with her as well throughout the admission process and the application process. So I think that concludes my presentation, or our presentation on the program. It's a great program. You can see that it's very employable. And very relevant. Anything having to do with operations, everything having to do with sending a good or service from inception to the end user, touches the supply chain. So we hope that you'll be able to join us in the future.
Yes, thank you, Joy, and thank you, Lorenzo. Really appreciate it. And appreciate your insights. They're fantastic. It looks like we do have a question related to the admissions requirements. So is a WES evaluation of transcripts required? No, it's not. We will take your official transcripts, review those. Very rarely do we come back with the need for a WES evaluation, but it's possible, but we wouldn't come back with that until after you actually apply. But you should be fine. For the GMAT or GRE, we look for scores right around the 50th percentile, but that is not a hard requirement. I want to be very clear on that. We're not throwing students out because they're achieving below that mark, and it doesn't guarantee your admission because you score above that mark. Like there's students on both ends of the spectrum. So we review applications holistically and take all the variables into account, your academic performance. If you have work experience, we do tend to see at least a decent chunk of international students have work experience, so that will be a factor as well. I will say, though, a strong GMAT or GRE score can lead to more scholarships. So all of our graduate business students are considered for merit-based scholarships, which range from 20 to 50% of tuition. So, if you score really strongly and you are a really strong merit-based candidate, you could receive a pretty significant scholarship award. We typically don't do interviews. On occasion, we might ask students to do an interview, but it's pretty rare. So that is not something that we necessarily expect. But it's not a formal part of the process. If you are applying for fall 2024, which would be the next, round of admission for the Global Supply Chain Management program. I would suggest applying at some point within the next 1 to 2 months, especially as an international student. I think it's important to just be cognizant of the visa process and also housing, those types of things. You want to be aware of that as well. So I would suggest, if you have a break between if you're still in school between your last semester, starting, use that time to apply. But with that said, though, we also want to be cognizant of students that may have not taken the GMAT or GRE or IELTS or TOEFL yet. So don't rush to apply and sacrifice prep time for those exams. So if you need to apply a little bit later, that's okay too. It's not the end of the world. That's just kind of a benchmark. But the ideal time is sometime within the next 2 months. But if it gets pushed out to March or something like that, that's okay. We tend to work with students pretty late, right up to the semester starting. But we also don't want it to be super stressful for you either. So, keep that stuff in mind as well. But yeah, great questions. Any other questions that folks have? All right. Well, thank you again, Lorenzo, and Joy. Really appreciate the time. And again, we did record the session, so I will send that out afterwards if I don't know if you want to go back and look at it. But we will have some students checking on this as well that weren't able to attend. But thank you all. Thank you again, folks. Have a good day, good evening, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Mhm.